Welcome back. Now, both houses of Parliament will be briefed by Minister in the Presidency on government's relief and recovery plans. Parliament set up an ad hoc committee which will also receive a briefing by the Cogta Minister. Let's talk to Jomo Nyambi. He chairs the Ad Hoc Joint Committee on flood disaster relief and recovery. Thank you very much, Mr. Nyambi, for your time here on eNCA. Of course, you'll be getting that update a little later on, but I'm pretty sure you are concerned about the past weekend and the flooding, the damage caused by the flooding in KZN even further.
Afternoon, my sister and the viewers. Of course, we are concerned. It seems as if the situation is not getting better, but already today in the morning we had a briefing from the Minister in the Presidency, Honorable Bele, that is assisting us to have a better sense of what has happened up to this far. And this afternoon we'll be starting with the Minister of Cogta. We are quite correct.
And what is it that the Minister in the Presidency has given you? What are some of the takings, the important points of what he told you today?
It was a robust and frank engagement with the Minister. And what came out is that there are people on the ground, and even the DG of the Minister in the Presidency, DG Dr. Nkuna, it's on the ground, and it was not part of our meeting because they want to make sure that after what happened these past 2 days, as you know, that this weekend is still having rains in South Africa, and that part is still causing some havoc. But what came out clearly in that meeting is that the issue of capacity is no longer an issue of discussion, but it's an issue that has to be addressed. And what is also of assistance to us as we are planning to be heading to KZN come this Friday is to have a better sense, and we know what each department is doing. But we are convinced that once we're on the ground, and come Wednesday when we'll have Minister of Finance and the AG, it will probably complement and confirm some of the issues raised by the Minister in the Presidency who's dealing with monitoring and evaluation.
Will the committee be asking questions or investigating, for instance, accountability issues? We know that this, of course, was a natural disaster and Mother Nature, but some of it could have been avoided, for instance, if people were not, if houses were not built in areas that they were not supposed to be built in, etc. If some of the storm water drainage was actually maintained and up to par, etc. Shoddy workmanship in some areas. Will you be looking at that as well?
We are doing everything that is within our powers as members of Parliament, as Ad Hoc Committee of Parliament, given clear terms of reference by both houses, the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. And of course, we are engaging. That is why it's always going to be robust and frank, and expect all the relevant stakeholders and ministers to be responding to our questions.
Mr. Nyambi, we are kind of losing your connection. I'm hoping we still have you. In terms of the amount of money that is going to be needed to repair, has that been discussed with the Minister in the Presidency at all, or is that going to be discussed in the afternoon? Last week, the Premier said 25 billion rand.
The better minister that will address the detail in terms of the finances is the one of finance on Wednesday. But of course, they will touch some issues in relation to finances. But the Minister of Finance is coming on Wednesday to give us the details of the breakdown of the finances.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, Mr. Nyambi. Hopefully we'll get more answers as soon as you've been able to meet with all the relevant ministers. That is, of course, Jomo Nyambi. He is the co-chairperson of the Ad Hoc Joint Committee on Flood Disaster Relief and Recovery.